Across the vast and silent landscapes of our planet, a story is etched in stone. It is a story that defies our understanding of the past. It whispers from the jungle-choked ruins of Mesoamerica. It echoes from the sun-scorched sands of Egypt. It calls out from the highest peaks of the Andes. This story is told not in words, but in colossal monuments and impossible artifacts. These are the fingerprints of a lost chapter of human history. They are markers left behind by minds of incredible sophistication, a trail of strange signs scattered across continents, separated by oceans, yet they all seem to point in the same direction, a direction that leads us away from the earth and out toward the stars. We are taught that our ancestors were primitive. We learn they were simple hunter-gatherers or early farmers, struggling for survival. Yet the evidence on the ground tells a very different tale. It speaks of a sudden and inexplicable explosion of knowledge. Our predecessors suddenly understood advanced mathematics. They mastered complex engineering. They mapped the heavens with a precision that should have been impossible for their time. Where did this knowledge come from? How did isolated cultures, with no contact, suddenly begin building similar structures, aligned to the same celestial bodies? The official narrative leaves these questions unanswered. It asks us to believe in a series of convenient coincidences. Consider the sheer scale of these magnificent achievements. Think of the Great Pyramid of Giza, composed of millions of stone blocks, some weighing as much as 80 tons. Consider the fortress of Sacsayhuamán in Peru, with its interlocking polygonal walls, fitted together so perfectly that not even a sheet of paper can slide between them. These are not the works of a primitive people. They are the legacy of master builders who possessed a technology and a wisdom that we have since lost. This is not a theory. It is a physical reality, a global mystery waiting to be pieced together. The evidence is there for anyone willing to look. This journey we are about to embark on is not for the faint of heart. It requires us to question everything we have been told. It demands that we set aside our preconceived notions and look at the past with fresh eyes. We will follow this trail of whispers across millennia. We will connect the dots between Egypt, Peru, Mesopotamia, and forgotten cultures across the globe. We will examine the stones, decipher the ancient texts, and analyze the celestial alignments. We will uncover a pattern, a consistent message that has been ignored for far too long. A message that suggests we were not alone in our ancient past. Our journey begins on the sun-bleached sands of the Giza Plateau. Here, the Great Pyramid stands as an eternal monument to a forgotten science. We are told it was a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu, built with simple tools and brute force. But this explanation crumbles under the slightest scrutiny. The pyramid is a masterpiece of mathematical and engineering genius. It is composed of an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, quarried and transported from hundreds of miles away. How was this achieved by a civilization that supposedly lacked the wheel, pulleys, or iron tools? The sheer logistics defy the conventional narrative. Consider the pyramid's astonishing precision. Its four sides are almost perfectly aligned to the cardinal points of the compass, with an error of less than 1/10 of a degree. It is located at the near-exact center of the Earth's landmass. Coincidence? The base of this colossal structure is level to within a fraction of an inch. Its dimensions encode advanced mathematical constants like pi and the golden ratio, phi, thousands of years before they were supposedly discovered by the Greeks. The mysteries of Egypt extend far beyond the pyramids. Carved into temple walls and written on ancient papyri are stories that challenge our modern worldview. The Egyptians spoke of a golden age, a time called Zep Tepi, or the first time. This was an era when gods walked the earth and ruled alongside humanity. At the Temple of Seti I in Abydos, strange hieroglyphs are carved into a solid stone lintel high above the ground. These carvings bear an uncanny resemblance to modern aircraft. One looks distinctly like a helicopter. Another resembles a submarine or a futuristic jet. Egyptologists dismiss these as a coincidence of overlapping hieroglyphs, a palimpsest. But is it plausible that such a random overlap would create a fleet of recognizable high-tech vehicles? Or is it possible that the ancient scribes were carving what they or their ancestors had actually seen? It proposes that the layout of the three main pyramids at Giza is a deliberate terrestrial map of the three stars in Orion's belt. The alignment is not perfect for the supposed age of the pyramids, around 2500 BC. But if you rewind the celestial clock using computer simulations to track the precession of the equinoxes, the alignment becomes perfect around the year 10,500 BC. This date coincides with the end of the last ice age and the proposed age of the water-eroded Sphinx. It suggests a unified master plan, conceived and executed thousands of years before the rise of dynastic Egypt, by a culture with a profound, long-term knowledge of the stars. Let us now travel east to the Fertile Crescent between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Here, in ancient Mesopotamia, another great civilization emerged, seemingly out of nowhere, writing the wheel law and the city. Like the Egyptians, their knowledge appeared suddenly and fully formed. They believed that their civilization was a gift from powerful beings who descended from the heavens. They built massive stepped pyramids called ziggurats, not as tombs but as stairways to the stars. Appears to show a depiction of our solar system. It shows the sun at the center surrounded by planets, including what appears to be Pluto. It also shows a mysterious 12th planet, which the Sumerians called Nibiru, but its most powerful deities were known as the Anunnaki, which translates to those who from heaven to earth came. Our journey now takes us across the Atlantic, to the soaring peaks of the Andes Mountains in Peru. High above the city of Cusco lies the fortress of Sacsayhuamán, a structure so immense and so strange that it defies rational explanation. But the scale and precision of the stonework make this claim seem utterly impossible. Some of these megaliths are estimated to weigh over 200 tons. The true mystery of Sacsayhuamán lies not just in the size of the stones, but in their impossible joinery. So perfectly joined that you cannot slide a single sheet of paper between them. The stones appear to bulge slightly at the seams, as if they were pressed together when soft. Their own legends state that the site was constructed by an earlier race of giants or by the gods themselves. From the highlands of the Andes, we descend to the arid, desolate plains of southern Peru. Here, etched into the desert floor, is one of the world's greatest and most profound mysteries, the Nazca lines. They are so massive that they are only truly recognizable from high up in the air. Who were these lines for? The astronaut. Many of the straight lines run for miles across the desert, over hills, over valleys, without deviating from their path. Erich von Däniken famously proposed that the long straight lines were runways for extraterrestrial spacecraft. Not far from the shores of Lake Titicaca, in modern-day Bolivia, lies the shattered ruin of a site that may hold the key to this entire mystery. But upon closer inspection, the ruins reveal a level of technical sophistication that is simply mind-boggling. The blocks have perfectly flat faces, razor-sharp right angles, and smooth, polished surfaces. Many of them are H-blocks, complex, interlocking pieces of identical shape and weight, as if they came off a factory assembly line. Some stones feature incredibly fine, perfectly straight grooves cut into their surfaces, some as small as a millimeter wide. Most astonishing of all are the drill holes. It is perhaps the single most compelling piece of physical evidence for ancient alien contact on Earth. Our trail of evidence now leads us to the Indian subcontinent, a land of ancient spirituality and profound mystery. Here we find some of the oldest and most detailed texts in human history, the Vedas. Most incredible of all are the detailed accounts of flying machines known as Vimanas. They are described as physical, man-made craft, capable of incredible feats of aerial travel, within Earth's atmosphere and out into space. The Samarangana Sutradhara, a scientific treatise from the 11th century, dedicates over 200 verses to the principles of flight. The texts also describe devastating wars fought in the skies with these Vimanas. It created an incandescent column of smoke and fire, as bright as 10,000 suns. Pottery breaking without cause and birds turning white are strikingly similar to the effects of radioactive fallout. Standing in the Qutb complex in Delhi is a physical artifact that defies modern scientific explanation. Yet, it shows almost no signs of rust or corrosion. Modern metallurgists are baffled. At the Kailasa temple in Ellora, a colossal temple complex was not built, but carved downward out of a single solid volcanic rock cliff. An estimated 400,000 tons of rock were excavated to create the temple. The dog figurines from the Jomon period are particularly unsettling. They look uncannily like a modern person in a spacesuit. He finally ascended back to the heavens on a dragon. On the island of Pohnpei in Micronesia lies the ruined city of Nan Madol. Local legend says the stones were flown into place by the twin sorcerers. Let us now take a step back and view the entire planet from a new perspective. It is a picture of a global blueprint, a consistent pattern of knowledge and influence imposed upon ancient humanity by a single external source. It is as if they were all given the same star map, the same celestial textbook. We see the same technique of interlocking polygonal stonework in places as far apart as Peru, Egypt, and even ancient Greece. They are called the Anunnaki in Sumeria, the Devas in India, Viracocha in Peru, and the sky gods in Egypt. The names change, but the story remains the same. Ultimately, the most powerful evidence for the ancient astronaut theory lies in the sudden leap, followed by sudden, inexplicable explosions of culture and technology. The ancient astronaut theory provides a more logical, albeit more startling, explanation. These sudden leaps were not the result of human evolution, but of external intervention. The ancient astronaut theory, by contrast, provides a single, unifying framework that makes sense of it all. It explains the impossible engineering, the advanced astronomy, the shared motifs, the universal myths, and the sudden leaps in civilization. We have traveled the globe on a journey through time following a trail of whispers etched in stone and starlight. The weight of these stones bears down on the fragile narrative of our primitive past. They are a chorus of silent witnesses, all singing the same impossible song. When we combine the physical evidence with the mythological record, the coincidences become a conspiracy of silence. The stones cry out with the truth of their impossible construction. The ancient texts whisper of their celestial creators. Across millennia, the message is the same. We were not alone. Our ancestors walked with gods, and those gods came from the stars. As we conclude our investigation, let us revisit the strategy we have employed, the mystery evidence trail. And we have discovered that all the paths lead to the same destination. It is time to pull back the veil and look at our own history with clear and courageous eyes. As we develop our own technologies for space travel and genetic engineering, the stories of our ancient past begin to sound less like myth and more like a plausible future. If we were visited in the past, could we be visited again? Or have they, in fact, never left? A question that should echo in the mind of every human being who looks up at the night sky and wonders. If the fingerprints of the gods are truly all around us, what does that mean for who we are? And more importantly, what does it mean for who we are about to become? And its final chapter has not yet been written.